Hey guys, I'm here with my LA Satis Disciples game. It's turn 22. Um, let's check out what happened. It's been a while. Okay, so Ohm is mixing up with Raga. This looks like there's mages here. I haven't seen Ohm use mages this game. We're in turn 61 in the real world. Body Ethereal and Luck. That's an interesting choice. We'll just quickly check to see if these guys have gems. No, they're just buffing to stay alive. And there's just PD with Raga, so this isn't that interesting. What is their bless? Undying and Blood Surge. 4 Undying, 4 Death, 4 Blood. Imprisoned. Seems reasonable. Got a couple wolf herds in there from the looks of things. Yeah, these guys should probably be out capturing wolves, as Ulm is wont to do. So the Ulm player seems to have shifted to mostly troops later in the game. Ah, a Nagini thug. 2 of them. Great Swords of Sharpness and Cathartic Lion Pelts. They're going to buff protection. 28 protection. Moss Body and Blessing. So they don't share Moss Body. Oh, they do share Moss Body, right. Moss Body's area effect 1. That's a hell of a combination. So 75% damage reduction for 10 to 20 points of damage with extremely high prot, plus their bless, and they're going to have temper flesh with the damage resistance. Blood Vengeance only procs on damage. Enlarge and personal regeneration. Okay. So personal regeneration, no, they can cast that. These things are like the perfect thugs. He's not even casting the water buffs. Like these could be quick. Liquid body instead of temper flesh. Be vicious. Yeoman attacking Atlantis. I don't think this really matters too much. This is just raiding and then raiding again. Atlantis raids in, Yeoman raids back. Ghost King in action again. We don't need to watch it. We've watched a lot of Ghost King. Caelum attacking Tien Chi. That we're going to check out. Raga attacking Ulm with the Zayedans. So the Zayedans are in action here. Ulm is one of those. Sorry, Raga is one of the stronger late age nations. Yeah, with this nice rainbow bless. It's kind of been a strange game. Most of the battles are very inconsequential. Till this point, there hasn't really been an important back and forth. I raid against Falegra. And let's check out, well, let's just see what the random events are. So we're getting attacked by undead. That's good. We get some random items. And we enjoy the fruits of our scales. Okay, so strategically, I'm up in these guys' faces, raiding their lands, taking their golds. We're going to enable income boxes. Can never remember. There we go. Yeah, so these provinces aren't really worth too much. This one's by far worth the most. It was important to get back from Ulm. And I'm not expecting to hold any of these for any length of time. I'm just thinking, like, I see this. I see this, and this is a lot of Zayedans. Probably enough to kill this. Maybe not with the Zweihanders. Zweihanders would chop through these boys. Maybe on attack rear it could work. It's just not enough of a hell bless to take this. But I was thinking that Ulm might be falling here to Raga. whose cap is over in this way. So if Ulm goes down, I do want to end up with some of the land for myself. Falegra is more centrally located, so I'm not sure what his plans are. Let's see the other situations. So stability over here. This is just scouts getting pinged out. We didn't look at the scouts. Oh, I don't see the scouts come up in my reports. We have a famous hero. Nice. Yeah, so another scout. This is probably just getting patrolled out here. I don't actually know my teammates' moves. This is a squad. There's no real mage support, so I don't think Caelum's ready to go onto Tien Chi's cap quite yet. But now he's in a position where he can just raid around the cap. This guy's only fort, so if he cuts it off, he cuts off his income. It's a good position to be. Tien Chi's teammate is down here somewhere. Is Marignan. He's going to be near these water provinces. Again, I'm pretty sure I got Marignan's start. And then Zabalba is on the enemy team from Tien Chi, and he's already raided into here. So that's interesting. So if Zabalba took this, and Caelum took this, then that would shut down Tien Chi. But there's no Diplo, so they're not coordinating. They're just found someone on the same team to pick on. It looks like assassins coming through. The raiding over here. This seems pretty stable. This fort, like Atlantis, should be able to hold his water provinces. He's gone above ground here with his god, and it looks like he's about to lose this throne. So this is a tough situation because those Nagini are going to raid around over here. They cannot go underwater, which is kind of cool. Oh, it's the nature randoms that are so powerful because they can do personal regen. Interesting. Not so familiar with the Nagini. Let's have a look at these units. So tag-wise, poison resistance built in, magic beam, they have a second shape, and they have seduction and spirit sight. And that's not from the bless. They're holy and they can bless themselves. I guess water 2 is no good. Earth 2 isn't really that great either. Astral 2, save it for something else. Sorry, Astral 1. No, that is good utility because that enters these guys into communions. And then, yeah, Nature 2 is just a gimme for a raider. 235 gold. Let's compare that to what Utgard has on deck, which is Scrotty. So a touch cheaper to use Scrotty, slower to recruit for Scrotty. The hit points and stats are definitely better. And with a Scrotty, you definitely would rather wait for a nature random. Because the self buff you get is water with Scrotty. That's really it. Liquid body, quicken self, breath of winter, and away you go. These guys have so many more options for their self buffs. Let's see, 16 hit points, strength 12, 11, 11 on the stats. And how's Scrotty doing? They had 22, 11, 13, so better stats, better protection, better hit points. Plus the second shape has regen, so, that's a big deal. So yeah, the counter rating's gone over here. Yeoman's must be up here. I don't actually know where his cap is. I think Yeoman's going to end up winning this game for his team, I would say. Just as much as one player in a four-person team game can win for their team, he's going to do it. Yeah, so looks like Utgard has stabilized in this front. We have some action coming in, so I got to be a little careful here with Ulm expanding in this direction because he could come this way rather than trying to complete his cap circle area. So I do need to watch for that. And then in terms of actual movements from myself, we have a small undead raiding party hitting this province. This is a reborn, one of the cheaper mages I can get. I tend to favor Sorrowmancers because I can actually use them for other things, even if they are expensive. Another raiding party hitting this, so another raiding party hitting this. So I'm hoping to break into these water provinces. The only reason Vedheim has them is through marks, and continue taking my, I guess, secondary cap circle. Province is one away from my cap. All right, that's turn 22. Let's see how turn 23 goes with these water invasions. Turn 23. So Amulets of the Dead from Utgard. I basically am asking everyone for Death Gems or Amulets of the Dead. I don't really need a Skull Staff, but I think he got one from an event. Because I want to be using these amulets to summon more undead chaff. We grab the Throne of Stability, which gives us +1 magic resistance. No sights, and we raid. Let's actually watch a few of these, because we're taking losses here. So we get 2 waves of undead chaff in front, and then it's just our terrible undead with our poor amphibian skill trying to take out native amphibians with like protection and defense skill. Thankfully, quantity has a quality of its own. I don't know if that was Napoleon or Sun Tzu or someone. Oh. Phlegra has made a raiding party with Mouflon cataphracts. This is a real army. Is this guy in retreat? He's on retreat. No, he's not. He can't. Oh, he's on stay behind troops. So he found the farthest rearmost troop and stood behind them. These guys have crossbows. These Helot crossbowmen. So they're dirt cheap because they're slaves, and they shoot crossbows, which is amazing. God, I wish I had them. And yeah, these helots and Mouflon cataphracts. Oh boy, that's an army. Let's see what else is going on here. So this is more raiding. Oh, this isn't raiding. We're taking back the province we lost to undead last turn. This is an underwater battle, probably against independents. Yeah. So we put our chaff in front. Sorry, we want our raised skeletons in front, and then our summoned skeletons from our priests, we want those to come by later, because we need to. Those are actually valuable. So that worked out extremely well. Like all these kills are on our horde of skeletons. Omina, so we're going in against Vedheim here, and he did not do a PD dump. This is like 5 PD, so we'll end up taking it. Hopefully with a similar approach of getting the horde of skeletons in the front. Nice. But now he knows. Now he knows we're going underwater, so there's going to be PD dumps in future. Let's see what else happened. Not really worth watching. Ulm is still doing their expansion. Oh, this is an actual fight. So Utgard attacks Pangea but was defeated. And let's see, there is mages on Utgard's side, but not on Pan's side. There are limited troops. Oh no, there's 42 herdmen, 30 gamherdings, and there's 100 centaur cataphracts, and a real PD dump. This is a PD dump. This could be 50 PD. This could easily be 50 PD. It's just not very good PD. Okay. Yeah, 50 PD. So there's mannequins. This guy's gonna try and thug here. Maybe we should... So he casts Quicken Self. He's not in his Dominion, so his max hit points is going to be 58, a touch lower. The Bless doesn't matter, but these Centaur Cataphracts get charge bonuses, so they're going to really hurt the Gamhardian. You'd be better off having a higher protection unit. Let's watch this guy's god. Quickness. Boots of the long strides providing swiftness. Uh-oh, he's on attack rear. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's gonna be all alone up here. Now he does have fear. It's just, he is all alone. He has no fatigue, so his stats are good. And he's gonna kill units. And he's making these guys rout. And he has 78 hit points, so he's doing good. You wanna leave that guy. He's getting away. Leave these guys. Ignore them. Uh-oh. Who's going by? These guys are all routed. Utgard's winning this. Well, I mean, we're not watching what's going on in the rest of the fight. Yeah, this guy's doing work. Uh-oh. Well, there's a little chip damage there. There's some friendly fire. No, the crossbows are focusing on him now. He's gonna go down. He's got no shield, so the crossbows aren't gonna do him any good. He doesn't have... Oh, he's got pierce resistance. So that helps against crossbows, but a shield is really what's missing here, preventing him from reducing this damage. Of course, like something like Soul Vortex would also help a lot. And like a helmet. You really need a helmet with the crossbows. Yeah, so he's going to get shot down with crossbows. Oh, look at all this stuff run. Let's rewatch the battle from the other side. So again, I've shared that I think the Utgard player on our team is the most new, followed by Atlantis, then Caelum in terms of newness. But like, this is very close to a right-sized engagement by Utgard. I think he got a little bit lucky. Like, the scripting's a little floppy. But like, and the Pangea player did make some mistakes here. Like, that PD dump is actually probably hurting him. Look at this. He even has troops to defend against attack rear. Like, I would have played this worse than Utgard, for sure. Yeah, I guess I'm not talking about how good I am necessarily, but like, yeah, I don't think I would have anticipated this kind of attack rear shenanigans on both sides. It looks like he prepared that. There's Scrotty here that are failing their morale checks. That's not ideal. It would be good to have the Scrotty in here. Like, oh no, all these guys have items, so Pangea is winning this, and he's going to pick up all these items too. Yeah, with this guy, that needed to have that shape change happen a touch sooner. It's hard to script shape change for battles, because with the 4 people on the team, you really want to anticipate fighting multiple people at once. And the shape change on the Scrotty goes from, sorry, that's not Scrotty, but imagine it was. Imagine this was a Scrotty. It goes from Scrotty, like the mage, to Scrotty the wolf, like the werewolf. And then it goes into the wolf form, and the wolf form only has 2 slots, 2 miscellaneous slots. And then it goes back into the mage form. So if you have changed shape as part of your script, and there's 2 battles, in the second battle you'll start in werewolf form, and then turn into the wolf form. And that's just no good. No good to anyone. Yeah, look, it's very, so, like, everything here is routing. Like, it's just, is Utgard gonna rout? That's what's gonna happen, right? Yeah. Just finally a failed morale check. These guys hold out. Um, what would have made the difference? The crossbows made the difference. Having crossbows in the PD won this fight. If there had not been crossbows or javelins in the PD, I would say Utgard wins that. 50 crossbows is a lot of crossbows. They may not have killed a ton of units, 18, but they would have done a ton of damage and caused a ton of morale checks. Um, Compared to if it was just like more heavy infantry or something like that. It's not nearly as effective. The other thing is, if fear had been in place in the front line, this guy's fear aura is fear 6, so that's a radius of 6. So in random squares around him within a radius of 6 will receive the fear hit. Having that placed in the front line might have been useful in getting the rout, because the only way he was winning that was with a rout. The Scrotty, hard to say, without area of effect weapons, like the Mace of Eruption here, which I think I got him the Mace of Eruption. I'm pretty sure, because he doesn't have Fire Path, so I think I got him a Mace of Eruption. Without something like Maces of Eruption, or if you're Construction 4, then Frostbrands on these Scrotty, they're not going to do too much, even though they can quicken self and whatnot. You need to have an area of effect weapon to really swing the tide. These Gamherdians were good. They would have been better had there not been crossbowmen. Because of the crossbowmen, I would say the herdmen were actually more valuable. These things have protection 18 with shields. These things have protection 12, but don't have shields. So the shield adds a potential bonus resistance if they pass a defense check on getting hit by arrows, which is exactly what's needed. Very, very cool battle. A big thank you to Utgard and Pangea for pulling that thing together. Less cool battle, I'm sure. Just a ton of Maliadruzinas, and I'm guessing there's mage support, but there's not enough here to trigger gem usage. Yeah. Yep. That's fine. I think we went through my battles, didn't we? Yeah, we did. So we're just looking at Caelum. So, Caelum goes on top of the fort here. Now, I did talk to Caelum about this a little bit. He's bringing a lot of troops here. He's getting on top of the fort, and he's fighting against. There's the PD here, which is what's advancing forward, and the horse archers. That's PD. These are Caelum's actual troops, and he has the ancestor vessels. So these things are decay weapons, poison resistance, blah, 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 just a rainbow. But the weird thing about the rainbow is the decay weapons and the blood surge. It's an interesting choice in the rainbow. So the ancestor vessels, watch for them as an X factor. So natural storm goes up, cast by, this is Caelum's god. This is our first time seeing him in action. Sorry, I should have spent more time on him. Spenta Manu. This god is native air and astral, which is why SR took him with air and astral paths high. The default weapon's terrible, but this is really good protection, 2 high protection items. He comes with built-in fear, awe 5, which is huge. That's a huge amount of awe. So that's a morale check against 15 right there. Shock resistance 24, fire resistance 15. It's all just baked in because he's not his dominion. He does have the magic bean tag, which is a negative, so Moonblades, very good against him. He is ethereal built in, and he has spirit sight built in, and he has teleport and blink. Like, what a guy. He was brought here to cast Natural Storm, which is going to help against the projectiles. There's a few spells going off. Now, there are thunder strikes, and his mages are doing summon storm power. Now, the trouble with thunder strikes, broadly speaking, is these guys are shock resistant. So we will look at that after this fight. Yeah, now, what's going on here? These guys are not Stormflyers, so they're just going to walk forward. These guys are Stormflyers, so when their hold and attack goes off, they still attack. So that's why his forces are split like this. So I would anticipate these guys in the rear dying because they're isolated, whereas these guys will advance forward and make a nice front line. Astral Geyser is the one that looks really cool. We'll look at that one too. So he scripted Thunderstrike and Astral Geyser. These guys are a little outside their element. They have ice protection too. They can be quite powerful in cold. This province is not cold right now. Another Astral Geyser. These Stormflyers still coming in. So most of the Ice Clad are gone. Now the Raven Guard, the ones that aren't Stormflyers, are coming in. And it looks like they're going to get a pretty decent surround here. Remember, these are Tien Chi's actual troops, so they're not going to go inside the fort. The more Caelum can kill here, the less go inside the fort. Let's speed it up. Yeah, so both sides end up breaking. So Caelum squeaks by on this. Let's think about this a little bit more. So this is a big loss for both sides. And I'm not just saying that. These things are 50 gold each. So 10 of these is 500. Yeah. And then the Barbarian Horsemen are 20 each. That's expensive. This is expensive. 15 gold each for the Storm Guard. 10 gold each for these guys. That's expensive. So the gold trade here is about even. Now the cap's under siege and there was 25 PD sitting on the cap. So yes, I would say Caelum came out ahead here. Just for the value of placing this guy's cap under siege, comes out ahead. But these are heavy losses. Probably would have been better to get the Raven Guard and Iron Crows in before Storm went off, to have them attack consistently together. Or you can also place the Storm cards on fire and they will walk into combat rather than flying. And then let's look at the spells. So because of the spells that went off, we know that Evocation 5 has been researched, potentially going for Wrathful Skies, because Caelum's God can cast it. So Storm plus Wrathful Skies is a hell of a combination. 15 armor negating shock damage, and your troops have native shock resistance built in. It's the way to go. Now, the challenge with this approach is Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike is amazing. Does a ton of armor negating damage. Lightning resistance helps, but because it's doing 26 with a bonus of every 2, you really need to have like 30 resistance to really shut down the Thunderstrike. However, the reason people worry about Thunderstrike is because of the area of effect 6, which is 2 armor negating shock damage. And the problem with that in this particular case is this bless. This bless includes 10 shock resistance. So that means the area of effect of Thunderstrike, which as you can see wipes out a whole square here, would normally shut these other guys down, would paralyze them. Even if it didn't, the damage didn't add up, they would be taking the fatigue damage and the shock from the Thunderstrike. However, that's not happening here. It still affects the Barbarian Heavy Horse, But I'm pretty sure Thunderstrike's going to gravitate to the Ancestor Vessels because they're technically better troops with higher density. Um, and on top of that, Thunderstrike isn't particularly accurate. What is the precision on this thing? Precision 2. Yeah, it's not an accurate spell. Now, Astral Geyser. This is just doing magic damage with magic resistance negates, area of effect 10. This is a spell. So, um, by him casting it, getting the hallmarks off, using his god, he could actually be doing some damage here. So just a little bit, it's a long range, large area of effect chip damage spell. Very ideal. Excellent spell to be casting. Um, let's look at our current research. So we have enchantment 5, alteration 4, score graphs, and research. So we're a little bit behind Caelum, but he's not going to be ahead of us by that much. So what could be done here, and this is 100% hindsight, but this is what I was telling the player at the time, is, yeah, sure, storm power, great. If you're going to have one other like path researched here, like you've got all these mages, they're all going to be air 3. You could be doing storm, summon air power, and then rather than doing all thunder strikes, in some case lightning bolts. Yeah, scripted thunder strikes and lightning bolts. A few bane fires going off. That's interesting. That could have been air elementals. And air elementals, especially at this stage of the game, would probably be challenging for Tien Chi to deal with. Pretenders of the World, Tien Chi. He's going to be using Ancestor Guides. To deal with air elementals, like targeted evocations and lockdowns are nice. There's not really anything here that's going to help him against air elementals. But that's hindsight. So Caelum needs to way increase his presence here. Like way increase his presence here if he wants to stay on this cap, or he can get out of town. He spent a lot of gems there. He needs more gems. He needs more mages. He needs more units. Like, this is not enough to stay on this guy's cap right now. Hasn't lost any mages yet, though. Yeah. Atlantis attacking Bogarus. This is just Ice Guard being Ice Guard. So Bogarus is a cold-loving nation. It is a cold province. And Ice Guard, just like those Caelum troops we're looking at, have ice protection too. Same effect. So in cold provinces, they get bonus protection. How does that show up as? It shows up as armor. So their actual armor types are 17 and 15. Their modified armor is 19 and 17. It's just added protection 2. And the way Dominion's random numbers work is those little number changes tend to add up to a lot. So protection 20 troops going up against protection 8 troops. The damage here is pierce, but it's low-ish, 13. Damage here is pierce and slash, and it's 24. So this should be a win. Why not these guys win? Short bows is the problem here. So 9 pierce damage against 20 protection isn't really enough to do anything more than chip damage. Crossbows would have done some damage. Crossbows versus Ice Guard. Ice Guard don't have shields. If you're not buffing their protection, crossbows could do some damage, but not normal archers. Pythium with the efficiency play here. So this means he has horde of skeletons. Oh, he has fell vapors too. Very high efficiency here. I mean, it is costing him 3 mage turns and some gems. So Foul Vapors, the Barbarians have no protection against Foul Vapors. Yeah, 2 Rentus with Horde of Skeletons is not going to win this. But yeah, a single Foul Vapors cast plus the Rentas, that makes a difference. Very, very efficient play. Um, so I've played in one, I guess, a game with Pythium, although it was a very non-standard game, so I wouldn't say it counts. Their nation's been buffed so much. Not these Rentas, though. These guys, not. Uh, the Death 2s can do Horde of Skeletons, that's nice. The Astrals can jump into Communion. You can always do Frozen Heart. I don't know why you would want the Natures. Um, Maybe Moss Body, but you don't really have a Thug Chassis to put it on. Serpent Priests are good for Foul Vapors. Remember, you have built-in plus 10 poison resistance, plus like a lot of your troops have poison resistance anyway. So these guys can jump in communions, cast big nature and water spells, and are generally pretty decent. They're temple trainers, not these serpent priests in general, but their priests generally are temple trainers. Um, the hard counter that this guy needs to deploy if he wants to attack me. So he's got this mage lined up, but he's got these mages over here, the Heliodromi. They can random fire 2, Phoenix Pyre to fire 3, or Phoenix Power to fire 3, and do large air elementals. They also have a spell that can buff their nature and fire, a native Pythium spell, which turns them into incredibly strong fire mages. Uh, basically, basically, fire elementals are a hard counter to everything I stand for as late age Satis. Yeah, so like Pythium is incredibly weak from the mid game on, really except against late age Satis, which is one of the reasons people frown upon late age Satis. Late age Satis is good with death gems, but if you don't have death gems, then you're never going to mount anything. Let's see the movement. So getting a Sorcerer of the Sand, this guy's going to go out site searching. That's cool. Still building the scout network. Collapsing on this province. We cannot fight this. I never want to fight this. I'm going to run from it until I get bored. I think in response, we're going to sneak out a bunch of assassins, and that's how we're going to try and deal with it. I make an error here. This is a mistake. It's turn 23. Let the mistake be noted. I'm collapsing 2 groups onto this province, and I should be collapsing 3. Look at the income here. I'm just sending one guy here. Can't do that. Can't do that when when the other player knows what I'm doing. I can't play greedy like that. Yeah, Pythium is nice and fat. Lots of forts. Very intruding on my border. This is 3 away from his cap, 2 away from mine. So that's not good for us. Notice how much more healthy this border is here. Even then, Pythium is expanded too far, realistically. But it's such a good nation in the early game. Yeah, let's just jump right till turn 24 after we take a gander here. So we've looked at this. Okay, this is under siege, and then this throne. This is the throne of misfortune, so nobody's going to claim it. But at least Bogarus is on it, and he's going to sit on it for a while. This is where that huge battle was, where everyone ran away. Killing 49 of these things is no joke. So even though Utgard lost that technically, he still got like he still damaged the army enough to stop the advance, and he's got more troops in the area. Yeah, let's go to turn 24. Stack of earth gems from Caelum. Oh, I think he wants me to make him an earth boost or something, some kind of earth booster. That's cool. Construction, level 4. Dire Portents, Mother Oak from Jerry Springer. Very cool. And a bunch of searches. And the Nagini. Added again. Sorrowmancers. A province owned by Vediheim has been conquered by our forces. This is where we collapsed 2 onto one another. Notice this. This is why I say I can't be sending small groups in. So 60 Tritons. Tritons are terrible. If this has been like a different province defense type, then maybe the answer would have been different. But yeah, Tritons are like the worst of the worst when it comes to underwater fighting. I might as well look at our other one. Right here, Sea of Plenty. So same deal. It's just that 2 things are different here. These are Triton guards. They have shields and spears rather than knives and no shields. And these are Triton troopers. And it's also a PD dump. And I only have 1 mage. So you put all that together and I lose this fight. Yep, truly tragic. And I lose the mage too. He was a reborn, not a Sorrowmancer, so it's a little less bad. Raiding Party by Phlegra. We're not going to look at it. Let's see this. Just a raiding party by Ulm against Raga. Sea of Plenty. Okay, a battle on Tien Chi. So Tien Chi is riding out against Caelum. So remember last turn, this guy needed more troops and more mages here. So they're trading evenly. After the last battle, that was about an even-ish trade. Except the Caelum got to stay on his cap. That was the exception. It looks like, sorry, what is this? View battle log, yeah. So there's enough gems for Storm. So Storm and some Storm power and aim is going up. So Thunder Strikes are starting again. On this side, there is just a lot of Ancestor vessels. Storm absorbs half of missiles. So that's a 50% reduction arrow fire right there. It looks like Caelum lost his Storm Flyers, so he won't have the same problem as last time. But he's got another problem because his forces are a little split. These guys in the previous match were scripted to hold and fire. Right now they're scripted to hold and attack from the looks of things. Oh shoot, and he did have some Storm Flyers jump in, so same problem as last time. There is mage support here. These are mini thugs. This is like in a different situation, I would call that a very desperate play. Actually, that is a desperate play, kitting those little mages out as mini thugs. What just happened to this front line? So these guys have lances, and they're not light lances. They're heavy lances. So the heavy weapon gets the full strength bonus on the charge, as opposed to a light lance. And I don't think Tien Chi has light lances. Yeah, so it's a little different than like what Pangea has been doing to Utgard with his lance strikes, because they don't necessarily insta-kill. These things, when they hit with a charge, they insta-kill. So Astral Geyser's going off. There's a shortage of Thunder Strikes coming in. There's Astral Geyser. Now, there's a problem with both Thunder Strikes and Astral Geyser here, and that's that the area of effect can cause some friendly fire. this looks like a Tien Chi win. Very interesting with these little thugs coming in. Like this guy got all his self buffs off. Mist form. Doesn't have quick. Oh, there he is. Quickness. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so losses here. So this isn't great because this is actually relatively few losses, and this is relatively a lot. The ancestor vessels were quite efficient here. The Caelum Seraphs were almost all killed. Harab Seraphs, this guy lost one. Let's see what went wrong here, that he lost 100 units, and the other guy only lost 20. Were there battlefield buffs? Is it just the blessing? It's definitely, you're definitely making your life hard for you. Yeah, that's just stone skin, that's blessing. You're making the life hard for yourself by thunder striking into decent resistances. Also making life hard for yourself by splitting your forces like this. So Thunderstrike into 10 shock resistance is tough. Not having a line set up to handle a charge is also a problem. And there's just minimal like fire support if you just have Thunderstrike. Like Thunderstrike and Astral Geyser. Astral Geyser is good for the disable, but the Thunderstrike is only killing one square at a time. And there's no mechanism here. Let's look at these guys. 14, 15. And then these guys here. Yeah, there's just no mechanism that provides them with any kind of survival. More troops with the surround would do it. I'll hold an attack rear before the storm goes off. That might have helped. Having the mages positioned more forward, but then you risk having your mages charged out. Really, more mages would have been required. It doesn't look like, let's check the numbers here. It doesn't look like the mages really swung the battle. The Masters of the Way did. Maybe let's look and see how 4 Masters of the Way managed to kill 2 units. There's 4 of them right there. Quicken Self, Moss Body, Blessing. Blessing, Mirror Image. Bark Skin. There's... What? It's just advance and cast spells with evocation. That's all that's going on. Yep. Yeah, this was just not sufficient. It came down to the chaff and how the chaff was used. The ancestor vessels, barbarian heavy horsemen with the heavy lances here, being able to one-shot these guys with their first charge, quickly established a numbers advantage. The density is the same, right? Like these guys are size 3, these guys are size 3, so it all adds up to one-on-one, and then you kill your first wave with your first lancet, and then it's all downhill from there. Suthu, Atlantis attacked Patella and won. And then Dardenia, previously owned by Independence, has been conquered by our forces. This is us grouping up our two sets of Falchineers to take an independent province. Undead have emerged to take Old Man Mountains. That's too bad for us. A bunch of Death Gems, very good for us. Crown of Bones, very good for us. Upcoming Arena Battle, which I'm pretty sure I'm just going to send a Sauromancer in. He can cast Horde of Skeletons and win just about any arena battle. We get Discovered, and there's this indie fight. Okay, so how are we rearranging this? We're coming back to link up these provinces. That'll be good. This is only light raiding. The army is gone somewhere else, so maybe Phlegra has bigger problems than just us. Looks like they're right in Man's Cap Circle. So this is Arithia. He's on Phlegra's team. So we're just going to keep these guys bunched together for protection and send them back. I don't want to risk sending them anywhere else because they might just get picked off. We're raiding this independent province with another group of undead. Should be able to grab that. And then we're going to move around this army, maneuver it up here to clear out what I consider to be our lake. More site searching going on over here. I'm about to start site searching my allies' lands. Very important that paths that my allies don't have, I want to try and site search their provinces for them. No real plans for any aggression here aside from holding out these two provinces. That's all I'm going to worry about. And yeah, let's look at the political situation over here. So Midgard is establishing himself around the lake. Ryla is in the lake. Caelum's looking pretty pleased here. Unfortunately, like, you just can't do this. Like, you take losses like this and you don't necessarily have enough follow-up. And it doesn't look like Zabalba is actually going to contribute a large army to this cause. So if Zabalba had been going to shut this down, that might have drawn Tien Chi's attention eastward, and like Caelum could give it another shot. I don't think Caelum's going to necessarily give him another chance. Or sorry, Tien Chi is going to give Caelum another chance. On this front, Zabalba has expanded nicely. Zabalba's on a team with Marignan down here, so you can see how like there's a lot of pressure applied to Tien Chi at the moment. Tien Chi is getting support from Arco, who's his pretender who just cast Mother Oak, and Arco's coming up this way to provide pressure. On the eastern front, there's a little bit of light raiding, nothing of any consequence though. And it looks like there's more troops forming up here to push into Pangaea. So that's turn 24. I think I'm going to stop here, but let's look at these score graphs. I know I've glanced at them before. So the province count is pretty close. Caelum's expanded into Tien Chi, so he's got the most provinces, but Atlantis also has a lot. It took me a while to get going. My scales don't line up with my nation, so I'm at a 25% income penalty compared to my allies. That's contributing a lot to this initial expansion slowdown. Like, I do okay at the start because it's spring and we're warm, but as soon as we get cold and go through winter, like, I deviate and then I pretty much stay down. Once you've lost that momentum, it's hard to recoup. But since going underwater, we're now getting our province counts up, and Utgard has been fighting Pangaea, which is why he's lost his provinces. If Utgard had perhaps tried to pick up some of these provinces, like Utgard's cap is here, there's relatively little pressure in this area. Utgard should be getting 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, anything that's 2 away from his cap. So these 3 could have been his, most likely, just the way this map's built. And he would have been up there with us. Not quite. He needs more than 3 provinces. Fort-wise, basically Utgard was really good getting his forts up. Caelum's got a ton of forts. Very heavy forting by Caelum. Atlantis took forever to make a fort. Not sure what was up with that. I don't really know how to play Atlantis, but then he built 2 in a row and then another 2, so like clearly has tons of forts on the go. Definitely everyone's doing better than I am for forts. Income, again, keep in mind I've got that 25% income penalty going on. Caelum's the most, then Atlantis lines up with provinces. Utgard, even though he has many fewer provinces than I do, is keeping up with me in income, again, because of my income penalty. Gems comes down to site searching. Utgard's had a little bit of luck with the gems, but he's actually been quite good about site searching as well. Caelum's done his site searching. I have site searched and not found a ton. I'm trying my best here, guys, but don't have a ton of gems. Research, The only difference here is Utgard, who's inflected upward a bit. He must have been recruiting more troops initially, and then with his forts switched over to mages, so he's inflecting faster than other folks. I'm gonna stay behind on research the whole game. Dominion, we just have shared Dominion, and our Dominion just goes up. We have strong Dominion. Army size, not really anything to comment on here. You can kind of see the engagements that Utgard's been having, Caelum's been having. Atlantis hasn't really fought anyone yet, and I've only had minor skirmishes. So it's pretty linear for me and Atlantis, us not being involved in combat. So guys, I think that's a turn. I'm going to call it there. Thanks for watching.